Are you tired of the chase, the hustle, the constant going, 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 feeling like you can't catch a break, and at any moment wanting to tap out and burn out, but you don't because you got to take care of your family, you got to take care of everybody but you? But my sister, there is a better way. If you're a high achieving VP level corporate woman who has an outlier mindset, you're going to want to tune in to this video because we have a strategy that we know will help. It's called our authentic power to wealth strategy. Tune in. You're going to want to take notes. It was 2020 and I went through the deepest depression of my life. I felt as though I could not stop shaking. I could hardly swallow. My throat was just locked up. And I was constantly being asked to speak at protest, to be on this committee, to continuously solve problems. But I was burnt out. I was depressed and feeling anxious. And by anyone looking from the outside in, you'd wonder, why are you feeling this way? Well, it's because I just didn't know how I was going to be able to help people during that time period. And the way in which I did my best work was speaking in front of people, constantly going, constantly doing. And when that whole system fell out, I lost my sense of worth. And I just felt like, what is happening to me? And what was happening to me was what I like to call my dark night of the soul. Like I knew that something had to shift in me. I couldn't keep up the pace that I had before, but I didn't know how to do that. And I just felt like my whole identity was crushed. I had no idea who I was, but what I didn't know was that there was a whole new me emerging. And it was this idea that I don't have to rely upon all of the outside things being perfect. Now, I had a sense of this before because I'm a very spiritual, faith driven person, but never did I actually relinquish and surrender that hustle culture, that hustle mindset. And it's this internal feeling that there was an uneasiness that I always carried with me, even with my suit on, even going to work, even looking like, my makeup, everything being polished. I did not have a deep sense of ease inside of me. And to be honest with you, when I was being asked, I felt like the universe, God was giving me the opportunity to want this sense of ease. I pushed it away because I didn't know that that could actually equate to success. And so, what I'm offering you today, my sister friend, is an opportunity for you to be able to find this beautiful sense of ease, this beautiful sense of peace that passes anything that you can even understand, that can give you what it is that you need to cling to do your greatest work in 2025 and beyond. We call it our authentic power to wealth strategy. This strategy, as I said, was born out of not only my experiences, but the hundreds of clients that we serve. We serve clients between the ages of 45 and up typically. These are women who have degrees, multiple degrees. They have lots of titles behind their name, and they have all of the what I would call appeared success, like me. They've done their greatest work, but they've done their great work, but not their greatest work. Their greatest work lies within the authentic power to wealth strategy. And I want to introduce it to you. For those of you who follow along this channel, you know that we have what's called our Rise 53 Inner Circle. And this is an inner circle of women who want this type of strategy. They want to live with a sense of peace, a sense of internal knowing, but this idea that they are building wealth from the inside out. And that's our Rise 53 Inner Circle. And we want to talk to you about that at the end of this video. But what I'm going to do is read to you The emails that we send out to this inner circle, they pay a monthly fee to get these coaching messages. And every single Friday, we talk about them. So it's a beautiful thing because it makes you know that you're not alone in this pursuit of what I would call enlightenment. It's an opportunity for you to live on a new playing field. So first, what I want to do is I want to define for you, and I'm going to read the email that we send out to our Rise 53 Inner Circle, but I'm going to give you a definition of what we call authentic power, and then we're going to walk through the steps of wealth that we have defined, and I'll share a few stories along the way. So, first, let's define authentic power. Authentic power is what we like to call this unapologetic alignment of your inner truth to your outer appearance, right? Inner truth to outer appearance. Most of us have been taught to work on our outer appearance, and that is all that you see. In our community, we understand that your outer appearance is more than what you wear. It's more than the makeup you put on. It's more than the nails, that color that you have, or the shoe choice that you have. We understand that your outer appearance is fully and 100% made up of the vibrational currency that you have with inside of you. It's your soul's existence. And to the extent you feel dissonance, meaning you feel a disconnect or a stress while doing your work, that means that you haven't refined and gotten clear on your inner truth. And therefore, your outer appearance is skewed because you might feel as if you're showing up looking like this, but you are a hot diggity mess on the inside. You have no peace, right? Because you haven't connected yourself to your soul's calling. And when you get this authentic power, it's like the moment you stop performing, it's the moment you stop code switching and waiting for permission. And instead, what it is, you choose to rise. And you choose to rise by speaking and leading with a heightened sense of wisdom of your lived experiences. Now, let me say what wisdom of your lived experiences, not just your lived experiences, because most of us have gone through lived experiences that haven't been the most optimal. And what we haven't done is examined those lived experiences and gotten rid of limiting beliefs or hidden barriers, things and biases that hold us back, and said to those things, thank you. They got me a certain level, right? They helped me survive something. But then realize that there's so many things that you do have from your lived experiences that are beautiful that you can teach people, and that's called wisdom, right? And there's a whole aspect of teaching that we give our community that when it comes to wisdom, there's some things like surrendering, there's a forgiveness that goes along with that. And there is a definite internal knowing that allows you to be able to rise in a different way. You know, the other thing that we always know that comes with authentic power is that you then tap into what I would like to call ancestral resilience. And ancestral resilience means that, I'm 57 and I am at this point where I want, not only am I living my life for me, but I'm also living my life for my grandchildren. Like, I want them to look back on my experiences and go, wow, my grandma was amazing. And she was thinking about me while she was doing her greatest work. And I have to imagine that my grandmother, Luella Talmadge Jackson, was thinking something similar. And I have to believe that a lot of your ancestors likely were trying to think about in their later years, how am I making a legacy? Am I doing something amazing? And there had to have been some prayers and some knowing that your ancestors wanted to bestow upon you. That's my firm belief. And I know that's the case. So we can tap into that. There's such a beauty to tap into that. And the last thing I believe we all get when we get this authentic power is this unshakable internal knowing. There is a trust that you have to have of yourself that gives you this feeling that I don't know about anything else, but I'm going to be good. I'm so good. I feel good. It's crazy out here in the world, but I feel good. My sister, that's authentic power. That's what we teach here in our Rise Advocates community and our Rise Advocates movement. If you just got that alone, you would be powerful. But see, we believe authentic power turns into wealth. And so, what I want to do is, I want to break down each one of these areas of wealth that we teach within our Rise Advocates community. We consistently talk about it in our Rise 53 inner circle. And it goes a little something like this: worth reclaimed is the W of wealth. Worth reclaimed. You were born with it. You were born with a sense of worth. But unfortunately, through your lived experiences that have not necessarily been the greatest, that you haven't known that you don't need to carry with you anymore because they aren't serving you anymore. You have to reclaim your worth, right? Because we believe worth is a birthright. We believe that there is this power that you have, this through this authentic power, through reclaiming your worth. Well, the thing is that it can't be revoked and it can't be taken away because no human being ever gave that to you. This worth was given to you at birth. It's like when you breathe, you don't like try to control the breath. You don't try to control your heart beating. You don't try to control the sun, just like you don't try to control the fact that you just have worth. You don't have to control it. You just have to be it. And so that means you just have to claim it. You have to reclaim it. And why that we know this is powerful, because so many women have come into our academy to reclaim this worth. And you know what it requires you to do? To close an identity gap. Because a lot of us have identity crises that we don't even know that's completely and 100% related to your inability to see your worth. I had a client the other day who was telling me that her boss was having her come to these experiences, and she was around all of these, what she was calling big wigs. And she just felt like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I'm here. What, I don't feel like I should be here, even though she was invited to go. And they were asking her opinion. She didn't feel worthy, right? There's an identity gap that we've got to shift. You are there because you are worthy to be there. And that, my friends, is wealth overload. Just the W in wealth and closing the identity gap will give you the power you need to be able to do that work and receive. See, worth is about like receiving something. And we try to diminish it, talk it down, act like we don't deserve it. That is something that we need to overcome. W is worth. The E, well, you know I'm an attorney and I like evidence. But if you want some real evidence, right, that pays, you know where that comes from? Is turning your story into receipts. How do you do that? Well, my friends, it's 2025. And guess what I'm doing to you right now? Speaking to you about what? Stories. Stories pay. You know how I know they do? You go to the movie and you pay for them. You also pay for them through subscriptions that you pay for on Apple or through a podcast. Stories pay, and your story can pay too. The key is that you have to understand that your story is worth someone listening to. You know, I have another client who was like, I don't understand. I'm a entrepreneur and I sell these products. I don't understand how my story is relevant into selling the products. Well, why would people want to buy your product over this product that does the same thing? The only difference is your story. So you have to be able to tell your story and communicate your story in a way that actually brings the money in the door. And the best way for you to be able to do that in 2025 is to speak it, communicate it. And that is the evidence that will pay you, right? So then you can actually quantify wins through the stories that you tell. Do you pick out what I'm saying? Right. Right. And so you'll also learn how to create what we like to call a power resume that just doesn't sound like chat GPT mumbo jumbo. Because everybody, I have performed and transformed experiences that, okay, now tell me about you, right? What was it about you that was a turning point in your life? That, my sister, is the evidence that pays. The A, we like to call it ask like an advocate, right? This is when you ask like an advocate. In other words, you are going to situations, your boss, or you are making a deal. You know how to negotiate in a way that allows you to advocate for yourself because you already know you're worthy. You have a story that pays. So then you just have to ask for it. And asking it for it also allows you to not apologize for it or code switch to get it. You are standing firm in who you are, speaking your truth, and you do it, right? And there's nothing that is going to stop you to do that. And that's asking like an advocate. That is a wealth that we all could get. But the next thing that I want you to know is to learn how to leverage your light. That's the L in wealth. You see, you are a brand. You are a brand. Your light and how you carry yourself is a brand. And if you don't know how to collectively brand yourself, use your AI tool to help you. Tell them about your story. Tell them about who you are, what your superpowers, all the things we talk about in the academy. This is something that you can do on AI. Don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. Utilize it to your advantage. And when you leverage your light, leverage requires you to be able to use your resources, right? People that you know, people who can ally with you, advocate for you. Because when you're able to do that, you can speak to them in a way that allows you to garner up enough people who will believe in you to help go before you, behind you, and to support you in every way. That's true leverage. So many people do this, but somehow, some way, I just don't believe we as women believe that we should do that for ourselves. And you should. That is true wealth because you don't have to shoulder it all by yourself. That's how you leverage your light. Then the T is how you take your truth in every single room that you are in. Not to actually say, oh, look at me, look at me. No, no, forget all that. Because when the sun comes up in the morning time, it doesn't go, oh, I need you to look at me in order for me to come up. No, it just comes up. So when you walk into a room, you are the truth. You are the shift. You are the light. You don't have to ask for it, it just comes upon you, right? So when you speak in these rooms, you speak with a sense of ease. Why? Because you carry a legion of divinity with you. Your ancestors come in that room with you. Your allies come in that room with you. Everything that you've leveraged comes in that room with you. Your story comes in the room with you, right? Your worth comes in the room with you. And that, my friends, is the truth that comes into the room. That is the T in wealth, is your truth, right? And this is this is the courage that a lot of us need, even in the age of, and this is as of, I'm recording this as of 2025, this thing called diversity and inclusion and equity is considered a bad thing. I will never, ever, ever, as long as I live and die, believe that. The truth is, we need diversity. We need people to believe in equity. We need people to believe in inclusion that allows us to understand that we belong because we know we belong. And that is the truth that pays. The last aspect of wealth that I believe all of us need to have is health. You have to understand that your health is a strategy driver for your wealth. You have no health, you have no wealth because you don't prioritize and value this structure called your human body that needs to be well. That's the only home you will ever live in. And it's good to have a very clean, a very healthy home that you live in called your body. We have tools that help you do this in our academy. We like to highlight tools like our 3553 method that reminds you throughout the day to focus on you and to put your mask on first. We have our Move It challenge that helps you understand your why for movement. We have our Hotter at 53 principles that talk about nutrition and wellness and all the things that go into living and having I would call an ease life, a disease free life. That is wealth, my friends. Wealth that pays. That is your worth reclaimed. That is the evidence that pays, that allows you to ask like an advocate, to leverage your light, to have truth in every room and health as a strategy. That is our authentic power to wealth strategy. That is the real wealth. And what comes to you because of that? Finances, money, relationships, health, all the things that you need. And with that couple the authentic power to wealth with our path to power, purpose, and connection that allows you to be an influence in your community, you can't go wrong. You have everything you need to be successful as a corporate woman. No chasing, no hustling, no burning out needed. That's why we want to invite you to our Rise 53 Inner Circle. This is an opportunity for you to connect with this like-minded women. And you want to be a part of that because that's the reason why we created this, so that you can have community, because you're not crazy. You're not alone. You have other people who are wanting to meet you, because what you seek is seeking you. So we want you to get in on this. So check the link, and if the registration is not open, get on the wait list. The other thing that we want you to do is, if you are a very serious executive level woman, we have the Rise Advocates Academy that's going to be right for you. And we want you to join us. We have an onboarding, there's an application that you're going to have to do. Why? Because we want to have the right people in the right room, right? Because we're not playing around. We are here changing lives. And you can tell authentic power is not something everyone wants, but we know that the right woman wants it. So check out the link. You can do your application, and that will be open as the recording of this. They will be having at the top of 2026, we will have a new cohort starting. And during 2026, if you're lucky enough, hey, you can onboard to our evergreen model. We're going to be moving to an evergreen model for the academy. The academy is one of those things where we know that if you work for a company, get this paid for through your personal and professional development. Easy for you to be able to do. And if you say, I don't want any of those things, I just want to be close to you, just to be close to you. Yeah, just to be close to us. I know it doesn't sound like it's a little off there, but we want you to join our newsletter. You can join our newsletter, or hey, just continue to follow this page for more details. We hope that was helpful to you. Tell us in the comments which part of the wealth acronym, or what about authentic power, do you want to be working on? All right. Thank you so much. We look forward to continuing to encourage you, and we'll see you in the next video.